Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Candido. I handle corporate communications and investor relations at New Rand Wireless Inc. Today is August 11th, Thursday, 2022, and we have with us today Francis Letourneau, President and CEO at New Rand Wireless. Hi, Francis.
Good morning, Frank.
How are you?
Really good, really good. As you know, got married 2 weeks ago, so I feel pretty good about that.
Congratulations. I
Thanks, Frank.
wish you and your wife, a long and happy marriage. So listen, Francis, right out of the gate, why don't we just talk about today's news? You released some news that, I was very excited about, which is the resumption of site builds. We've been sort of stuck at 82 sites between Cameroon and DRC for a bit of time. Obviously, we've been getting a lot of questions from shareholders about, the resumption of those site builds. And today, the exciting news is that you are now targeting 250 sites in total to be built by the end of October, which is only a couple of months away, which includes Cameroon, DRC, and South Sudan, your first sites in South Sudan. So
Exactly.
you want to comment on that quickly, why was there this delay, and how confident are you that you'll have all 250 done by the end of October?
Yes, so we've spent the last couple of months. Of course, the CTO has also caused some delays in that regards, but we've spent the last couple of weeks, I would say months, to discuss with all stakeholders that are involved in this deployment. And we've negotiated with the current contractors to have them paid while the DFI money is going to be drawn down late September, October, and everybody agreed to do it. So we are now in that phase to complete the build. The material is all in the country. So there's nothing blocking us from doing those sites. It will be a matter of adding more teams in order to do it. In that regards, we are adding 2 more contractors in DRC in order to meet our objective to reach not only this 118 sites, but also I think it's up to 200 something before the end of the year, which is ambitious, especially knowing that we are in August. But we, with the number of teams on the ground and the arrival of and the appointment of Mr. Benson that will take over this piece, and we have really strong teams on the ground, we are really confident that we're going to achieve that. Money is no longer on the way. We're just expecting those DFI drawdown to occur pretty soon. So we are confident, Frank.
I guess you heard my dog barking in the background there, so I apologize. Just
Yeah.
for clarity, we're at 82 sites, 250 by the end of October, and now we're targeting 400 sites as opposed to the 500 sites. And obviously this has to do with the delay of the release of the 27 million. So you did mention the 27 million. You actually said something about, September or late September. What's the delay? My assumption from what, we've been told is that we've met all the covenants, and that in fact, the last piece, which was the equity portion, that's been taken care of as well. So is there any reason to be concerned that that money is not going to be released?
No.
Maybe you want to just comment on that.
Yes, thank you very much for bringing that point. First of all, when we first announced the 2 DFI's commitment to borrow money to the company back in January, at this time, the money was already allocated. It was a matter of going through a due diligence process, meeting the requirements of those large development financial institutions that are extremely rigorous, especially related to ESG, Frank, related to the governance, the way that the company is going to be built. They wanted to meet with our teams on the ground. we had to meet some of the covenants and now CPs. There's four CPs that has to be met in order to complete the cycle. The first two that are extremely simple is to appoint the contract to our the contract from Nuran Corp to Nuran operations in DRC and Cameroon, which is likely to be done in the next few days. They were waiting for a full environmental and social management system, which we did. We produced the documentation and we have sent it to approval in July. So they're now reviewing it. Of course, everything slowed down during the summertime. It's Europe. So it's Europe is almost closed during summer. Nothing is really moving. The first DFI that have had board approval for the first 9 million. So this is done. This is behind us. We no longer need to care about this. And they're going through the cycle of signature at the second DFI, which is bringing 18 million in the mix. So we expect, based on this week's discussion, that the investment committee is going to sign off on this probably first week of September. And in the meantime, Frank, we have we are engaging with the legal firms in order to document the loan agreement and everything at this stage. So we want to get prepared to, when it's approved, we can carry on and get the drawdown. So we would not be investing in legal documentation and fees if it was not that we are extremely confident that this is going to end soon. So and this is also I have the opportunity to tell you that I've had some concern coming from investor on the Form 7, the monthly progress report, where people were not sure about what was going on. The cool thing is that the drawdown is not blocked by any covenants or CPs. We have met the 6 million required to initiate the initial 9 to 11 million drawdown. So this is done. This also gives us the opportunity to maintain the current discussion flow with the different equity player for the African holding structure, but we have more time in order to make the proper decision and to decide with who we're going to dance and what type of structure we're going to put in place for the equity.
Okay, well, thank you for that. So just to be clear, Francis, the 27 million, it was always the intention of the company to use debt, primarily debt at the African level, for the deployment of sites. So up until today, the 82 sites that have been deployed in Cameroon and DRC, you've used equity from Corp to deploy those. Yes. And you're going to continue to use equity as we move forward to deploy the additional sites to reach 250 while we wait for this unlocking of the $27 million of debt. Is that correct? Is that a correct statement?
We're using the current operating cash flow of Nuran to support the current rollout until the end of October, and the future rollout is going to be supported by the DFI debts that we're expecting.
Okay, so the good news then is that we will no longer stall the deployment of sites. Everyone's excited to see those sites deployed because obviously what we're really looking for is a critical mass of sites where we can draw some data, important data, whereby, you know, this exercise that we do on the back of the envelope in terms of Nuran's potential explosive revenue growth, recurring revenue growth over the next number of years becomes much more real as opposed to something that we do as an exercise. So very exciting. In fact, I think this is the most exciting period in the history of Nuran these next couple of months. So, you know, we look forward to an update on that. Now, you've added a couple of people to the team, new additions to the team, namely Christian Marcoux as managing director. I understand that Christian is in Quebec City area, which is where, yes, you know, you're domiciled as well. and you've added George Benson as director of operations. And my understanding is that George is in South Africa, in Johannesburg. Maybe you want to just comment quickly on those two new additions and
Funny
why you
enough,
needed to make those moves.
yes, funny enough, George is residence is 10 minutes away from MTN Group in South Africa headquarters. So it would be good. Will be a walk to go to MTN to do all the meetings that we need to do with them. Those additions and the moves that we have done. Thank you to Gael and to Betty for their contribution, but we needed to go differently. We needed to make those additions to become better, to have more, to be more efficient on the ground. Mr. Benson is coming with a massive experience in rolling out telecom towers, Frank. I invite you to go on LinkedIn and look at his resume and the list of companies for whom he has worked. Eaton Towers, Lamcon, Nokia. So George has done a significant amount of work. He's bringing a lot of expertise and experience, and you can feel from initial involvement in our projects that he's making the difference. So you will be expecting better results in terms of rollouts, but also in terms of operation and maintenance. Christian will bring something additional because the corporation in Quebec is all about logistics, developing products, production, and so forth. And this has been Christian expertise since the beginning of his career, and he has always performed really well. I worked with him in the past, a couple of years back. I've been able to appreciate his talent, expertise, and his team leader type approach. And this is something that we actually need. And we will be developing a lot of new products coming in. Christian is an expert in NPI process, new product introduction process, owns a Six Sigma black belt process approval. So we now stand on two fantastic, not only human being, but talent to help this rollout and to get better. And this goes in line with let's say let's not call it a reorganization, but a realignment. Hassan coming to the board. Now Ken is becoming more and more involved, Mr. Campbell, and we now have these two gentlemen that are joining the company. So we're just showing the shareholder and stakeholder that we're serious with this project and we want to deliver on time, on budget, and on quality. So this is what we will be aiming for the next few months and years.
Thank you for that. So before we conclude, the so-called elephant in the room, let's deal with it. My understanding is when you took over as president and CEO of New RAN Wireless, you were compensated with shares.
Yes.
And as a result, those shares become income. And as you know, we live in Quebec, the two of us, the highest tax province in Canada. And Canada, for most part, it's just a highly taxed jurisdiction. And so my understanding is that, you've received the substantial tax bill. So we've noticed that you've been selling some shares into the market. Exactly. So for the sake of our shareholders and our stakeholders, Francis, in a perfect world, would you ever dream of selling a single share of New RAN Wireless stock at this stage, A? And B, why are you selling shares? That's it. Those are the two main questions.
Yeah, I would not be selling shares, Frank. I would be buying shares. To answer the point number two is that yes, I've accumulated a fair amount of shares on which I need to pay taxes. And I've been able to delay with the government the payment of those tax remittance, but now I'm reaching the end of it. So there's 6 months of tax remittance that I will need to do. So yes, I'll be selling shares for the income tax remittance that I need to do to fulfill my obligation there. So I'm not selling share because the company is doing bad. I'm selling shares, and I'm not selling shares because I need money to pay for my car or my wedding ring. I'm selling shares because we need to pay tax remittance, Frank. So that's the only thing. If it's not close, if you think it's close on this point, there's also another point that we didn't think of that I would like to touch point on. Frank, is also because I received an email from an investor that which I replied to with an answer that I think conclude or resume the situation pretty well. Is we've done that business shift 2 years ago. So you can consider Nuran, let's say, as a startup company. And after 2 years, and you've been part of this story, Frank, we've been able to accumulate over 3,000 sites under contract. And the total value of those combined contracts as of today is over $600 million US. We are aiming in the right direction. We're doing the right thing. We are now executing, and we will get financing to make this dream come true. And but it's not a short-term play. We have to go step by step and to get to become this big company that we are aiming for. The 600 million US under contract is going to grow significantly. We announced a group framework agreement with MTN a couple of weeks back. Couple of days after the first the first NAS agreement with Sudan for 500 sites. And we are in discussion with 6 other subsidiaries as we speak. So you can probably expect to see some of those contracts hitting the dissemination. So we're working hard on this to build this company. The 10,000 site objective is going to be reached, but not only contractually speaking, but from a deployment and operating those sites. So everybody's committed. We have a massive support from the development financial institution world. People are willing to give us $27 million in those market conditions. One of the 10 largest company in the world is in the telecom business is crazy enough to be confident in Nuran to provide us with a group framework agreement and allowing us to tapping into a buffet of 19,000 sites to be built in their network. And Orange has already proven that they are confident that Nuran is going to deliver. So large telcos, DFIs, and we've got, you should see the type of equity investors that we are discussing with for the African structure. We have a fantastic vision and projects lying ahead of us. And these guys are crazy enough to be confident that Nuran is going to deliver. I would like to understand what is the Canadian market understanding that these guys don't understand, because these guys know what's going on out there, and they know that we have a fantastic company, fantastic project. So this is what we should be sticking to. The valuation of the company is going to grow, and it's going to be done on delivery. And it will soon come EBITDA and everything. And this is all based on delivering a site. So just wanted to touch a point on this, Frank.
Well, you beat me to the punch, to be honest. And man, you've said a lot. So I'm going to try to synthesize what you said, a little more in a summary fashion. So 3,142 sites under contract. 10,000 sites is your targeted amount under contract, which you're very confident that you're going to get to sooner than later. So we can expect more news on that front going forward. 3,142 sites amounts to over 600 million USD of potential revenue, which is incredible. 19,000 sites MTN has that they want to deploy that we've only scratched the surface of, and we've signed a group framework agreement with them. So one can conclude that there's much to be expected on the MTN New RAN partnership going forward. I mean, it is incredible, and we need to keep our eye on the ball. But as importantly, Francis, let's conclude with this. The thing that's most important, that drives us every day, not just the dollars and cents and the public company and stock options and financing and DFIs and all that wonderful stuff, deployments, etc., is, on top of everything we do as a corporation moving forward, and we believe that we're going to build massive value for our shareholders, how can people forget how important it is, the work we're doing in changing people's lives in Africa? I mean, this is really at the forefront of everything we do. And what's incredible is we can actually be a profitable company doing it. You want to just conclude with that, Francis?
We are a feel-good investment company. We are changing lives, and all of this bringing one of the most basic needs these days to unconnected people in emerging markets. We are in the utilities business, Frank. So it's a basic need. People will use it, and when the economy goes down, people use it more. So we are in a business where we will have sustained, predictable, and extremely profitable revenue kicking in. So yeah, thank you very much for bringing that point. We rarely touch those points, but it's extremely important. It's part of the vision and mission of the company to change people's lives, and you will see it more and more in the upcoming communication that we're going to do.
Excellent. So in conclusion, Francis, you don't need to sell shares to support your new wife.
No, it's okay. I'm good with this piece.
Very nervous, very, very nervous. But anyway, thank you very much. Today is August 11th, 2022. I'm Frank Candido with Francis Letourneau, New RAN Wireless Inc. Please continue to send your questions, continue to email, text. We will answer when we can answer and if we can answer within the parameters of our limits. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
I'll see. Thank you.